What is Karuna? Well, Karuna is compassion. Metta is loving kindness and Karuna is compassion. To me, I always like to think of compassion as a doing word. So it goes beyond thinking and feeling kindness, love to someone into actually doing something to help alleviate their pain, their suffering. The key thing about doing acts of compassion is not to have any attachment or expectation for something in return. You act without any of that expectation and you do something to that person. It could be even a word or a smile you say to someone who you walk past. You do that thing without having an expectation of their response and getting something back from it. You do it because you want to, and you feel that love, kindness, happiness, and compassion, and you don't expect anything back in return. Compassion is having that sympathy and that empathy for someone else's pain. However that is, it could be emotional or it could be a physical pain, and then doing something to help them release it. It can be, again, thoughts, speech, or actions, but you are doing it, which is the act of being compassionate. The opposite of compassion is just not seeing someone else's pain or suffering and not being able to relate to it. That's why self-awareness is so important, and that's why we talked about it last week, because being aware of your own self allows us to see ourselves in others and see what we go through in other people, so then as a result you have compassionate for what they're going through as well. If we have ego attached to compassion, then we have a sense of pity towards somebody else. So then we have compassion, but it's more like from a sense of pity, where we think that we're better off than them because of our ego. And then we pity their existence. We feel so sorry for them or their being. We think that we're doing the right thing and we're coming from a place of like higher up, looking down on them, and we are right, and oh, so sorry you're going through this, and in your head you're thinking, oh, but I'm not going through it. So you're coming from like a bit of a place of ego. Releasing that ego will mean that we trust everyone has their own intelligence, they have their own awareness, and they have their own ability to understand. They have their own journey to go through, their own hurdles to overcome. So we let them be who they are with a compassion that is free of ego and expectation. So we help them out. It is what it is. The situation is what it is, but we're not coming from a place of ego, and we're not coming from a place of lack of compassion. It is what it is, and that is it. We're acting out of compassion because we want to, and that's it. An example of this is when Anara and I were in the city and we saw someone asking for money. So we do the action of giving the money to the person who doesn't, we don't know actually if they don't have any, but they're asking for it. So we do the act of giving this money to someone, and then we don't expect anything in return. We don't expect a thank you. We don't expect a smile. We don't expect to know what they're going to do with that money. We just give it out of compassion, help alleviate their pain in some way, their suffering in some way, and you allow that person to be, and you've let it go then. The same way we can do it when someone is going through something emotionally. You allow that person to feel their emotions, you allow that person to go through it, but you're there with them and you help alleviate their pain in a way that they want you to help them. So you're thinking about it from a place of sympathy and empathy and what they're going through, without putting your own agenda, your own ego on what you think is best for them. So yeah, they're two examples of how we can be compassionate or think compassionately in a very kind of practical day-to-day way, in two ways, like thoughts and speech, and then also actions of doing something like giving the money. So thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe if you want to, so that you won't miss out on any of these episodes. I'll see you on Sunday, for the episode on what is Karuna. Thank you.